On the third day of their marriage, my husband took his secretary to an island for their honeymoon. I received a call from my husband saying that he was about to board the plane. I hummed calmly. On the other end of the phone, the secretary apologized in a delicate, nasal voice. "Maeve, it's all my fault for booking the wrong flight. Don't blame Silas, it's all my fault." Silas whispered to comfort her for a long time, and said to me with a hint of impatience, "Maeve, don't be unreasonable. The same applies to tomorrow's tickets." The next day, we arrived at the island. There is only a divorce agreement. Just because of such a small matter. Well, just because of this little thing. Silas again. As soon as he entered the house, he subconsciously frowned and started questioning me with a cold face. It was as if I was not his newlywed wife, but the person he was negotiating with, or even his subordinate. "Maeve, you haven't worked for 3 years. How are you going to survive without me?" Silas came closer, looked down at me, and suppressed the impatience in his eyes. "Maeve," he said softly, "if you're upset because of the honeymoon, I apologize. You know, Mr. Lee from Shungfeng was also on vacation on the island at the time. I didn't come back these days just to get the cooperation. I didn't do that to you on purpose. Besides, Sage booked a flight for you for the next day, but you were throwing a tantrum and refused to go. Deliberately threatening me with divorce," he scolded. He explained patiently and always believed that it was a problem with the flight itinerary. Some even thought I was being upset. The day I found out I had booked the wrong flight, he agreed to refund and change my reservation. But I still saw the chat history between him and his secretary Sage on his phone. "Silas, if you change your flight, I won't be able to fly with you. Besides, I've never been on a plane alone for so long before. I'm scared." "It's okay, I'll accompany you." Silas's answer was as reassuring and assured as ever. "Sadly, not for me. I don't want to explain any more." I leaned over and opened the drawer and took out a new divorce agreement. "Sign it and hand it to him. I have already appointed a lawyer. I just need to hand over the specific property division to the lawyer. You have contributed to the company's success. Don't worry about the company's financial situation." Silas lowered his eyes and looked at me. "Maeve, have you thought it through? We've been married for less than a month and you want to get a divorce. If that's the case, why did you get married in the first place? Why get married?" This should be asked to Silas. "I broke up with you half a year ago because of Sage." It was Silas who hugged me and cried and begged me, saying that he couldn't leave me. There's really nothing going on between Sage and me, superior-subordinate relationship. It was raining heavily, and I felt sorry for her, so I sent her home. "I swear, there won't be a next time. Maeve, don't leave me. I love you." To prove this, Sage was transferred to a subsidiary of the group. The replacement of a male secretary even became a hot topic throughout the company. In just 5 months, Silas was busy preparing for proposal, engagement, and marriage. It once created a happy, sweet, and dreamy married life for me. This led to our wedding half a month ago. I admit that the past 8 years are not so easy to forget, and I really can't bear to let go. And Silas should also be thankful that humans have the ability to reminisce about the past, but he can only use this golden medal of immunity from death once. Looking at the home I had decorated with my own hands, I don't know where to start. Any object can open the valve of my memories. After sitting quietly for a while, I got up, packed a few simple clothes, and dragged my suitcase out the door. Silas stood at the door, watching coldly. "Do you have to do this? You're leaving as soon as I get back. Do you have to make a scene?" Maeve, hearing this, "I just feel tired." He thought I was threatening a kid to leave. "Whatever you think, the divorce agreement must be signed by the secretary." After saying that, I turned around and left. I didn't want either the house that I had worked so hard to decorate or the relationship that I had painstakingly cultivated for 8 years. He thought I didn't know that Silas couldn't wait to transfer Sage back to his side the day after the wedding. He thought I couldn't see that the dense chat records over the past year had already exceeded the boundaries between superiors and subordinates. He thought I didn't know that the day we flew to the island was Sage's birthday and that they stayed in the same suite that night. Oh, yes, there is one more. Sage has sent me the photo of Silas's body covered with kisses that night. This was supposed to be my honeymoon, but another person experienced it for me and live-streamed it on WeChat Moments. She made good use of this good opportunity to provoke, But, he's just a man who has changed his mind, so just leave it to her. But apparently, Sage didn't want to let me go. Sister Maeve. What a coincidence. I didn't expect to see you in the hospital. Did you have a fight with Silas recently and are you feeling sick? As she spoke, she deliberately raised the ultrasound report in her hand. Silas is really something. He asked me to do the examination just after I got pregnant, fearing that the baby would be wronged. Look at me, I'm silent. Lin Jing thought he was victorious and pursued the enemy. By the way, Sister Maeve, I have to thank you for decorating the house so neatly. I feel better after moving in. I raised my eyes. Are you done? Maybe it was these provocations. My lack of response gave her the illusion of having the upper hand. Unfortunately, I am not a soft persimmon. I didn't date her just because I didn't like her and was afraid of losing value. But now that it's dancing in front of my face, there's really no need to endure it any longer. Bang, a slap was thrown at him. She was stunned for a long time. You hit me. Why? I looked down at her from above. Just for one thing. As long as the property is not divided, I will still be Mrs. Pay. Is it glorious to be so eager to show yourself off before you even get to the top? Be careful. I will not divorce you even if I feel disgusted. You will never get promoted in your life. You will have to move out the same way you moved in. I didn't expect I was so tough. Sage was speechless and his face turned red. Oh yeah, the brand name bags you carry and the lambskin shoes you wear. Even the money for the examination should have been given by Silas. This is all marital property. Thanks to you for sending me my photos. It's enough to prove that Silas cheated on his wife. If you want to get into a man's bed, that's your business. But I advise you not to disgust me. Otherwise, one day I will seriously settle this account, and you will not be able to bear the consequences. Besides, you stole my troubles, not my man. Sage was confused. The face was twisted into a ball of jealousy and fear. There is no longer any trace of the arrogance of a villain who had succeeded in his previous career. After arguing with Sage, I felt in a good mood. Silas standing outside the door with red eyes. After returning from the hospital, Silas kept contacting me, but I didn't give him a chance to explain. The long-term phone harassment made me unable to help but block him. Being alone is boring. I bought a plane ticket at random, went to an unknown small city. Silas 8 years ago. I have lost the right to think for myself. Because of the reasons Silas mentioned, he can't marry me, but it made me live the life of a housewife early on, a good cook, considerate emotionally, and a wife who will only share the hardships with you. Silas' circles say that he has a virtuous wife, but they don't respect me much. I have heard Silas's friends feel sorry for him. It's a pity. Brother Pay, you have to live a monotonous life at such a young age. My wife is virtuous, but she is so boring. Apart from asking you what you eat and what you wear every day, there is nothing new. Aren't you annoyed? How about I introduce you to an interesting one? I recently interviewed a secretary who is super hot and 100 times prettier than Maeve. How about I give it to you? I didn't hear what Silas replied, but since then, a secretary named you came to him. After finding a place to live, I began to calm down and think about what had happened in the past few years. Many details that I had overlooked emerged in my mind one by one. This relationship was only sincere in the first few years. Maybe I didn't even realize it. In fact, it has already deteriorated. The moment I lost myself and only saw Silas, he had already fallen into a disadvantage and was willing to fall into the abyss. This abnormal mode of getting along, it won't last long. As I was thinking about this, I fell asleep, but I couldn't sleep well this time. I had many bizarre dreams. There was the laughter and playfulness of a 10-year-old with his friends, the resentment I felt when my father brought home my stepmother when I was 12 years old. I realized that I had no home anymore. Silas at the age of 19, 20-year-old Silas wanted to start his own business, and I was exhausted from working 3 jobs. There was the happiness of being 26 and having a wedding with Silas. Besides, a shrill ringing sound. I was awakened from my sleep and I reached for my cell phone from the bedside in annoyance. A strange cornet. I pressed the answer button, and a polite voice came from the other end. Excuse me, is this Mrs. Pay? I'm a nurse from the Second People's Hospital. The last time you accompanied your husband for a physical examination, a shadow was found in his stomach. to be on the safe side. I suggest that Mr. Pei come to the hospital for a detailed examination. The nurse's voice is very nice. My fingers holding the phone were tense, feeling a little worried, but then I realized what was going on and felt indescribable self-mockery and fatigue. Not long ago, he said he often felt stomach discomfort. I had to act coquettishly, coax and persuade Silas to spare half a day for the physical examination. I looked at the evenly spread sunlight outside the window and whispered, "Sorry. We are divorced. Please call Silas himself with this question." "Ah," the nurse said, a little embarrassed. "Then could you please tell me Mr. Pei's contact information? I only left your mobile phone number." Silas's cell phone number with familiarity. He apologized to the nurse again and hung up the phone. I don't know what Silas is thinking. There was a new person next to me, but he still harassed me. After blacklisting him, then he called from another number. Drag your feet and be indecisive. This is what Silas is capable of in relationships. The call was connected. There was silence for a few seconds. Just when I lost my patience and was about to hang up, Silas' voice came. "Maeve." He whispered my name. "That day in the hospital, it wasn't what you thought. I can explain." Mr. Pei. I interrupted him. "Maybe there's no need for us to discuss this topic anymore. You should leave the explanation to your next wife." Maeve, not wanting to give him a chance to speak, I continued. "I hope that the next time we contact each other, it would be good news like you want a happy divorce. Other than that, there is nothing else we can say." Hang up the phone. But there was unspeakable anger in my heart. After 8 years of dating, I finally see through the greed hidden beneath his deep affection. I want this and more. I can't bear to let go of Sage's soft fragrance, but I don't want to give up the 8 years we have spent together. No, for him. Maybe I am just a nanny with great tacit understanding. In this week-long phone call, he acted like nothing had happened. She seemed to have just gotten up and asked me in a low, hoarse voice, "Maeve, where is the jewelry I was going to give to a client last month?" It seemed that she had just finished a drinking party, and she instructed me in a hoarse voice, "Maeve, my stomach is uncomfortable. Where is the stomach medicine at home? Maeve, I'm not used to having breakfast at home. I want to eat the porridge you made." I was beyond furious. I tried my best to stay calm, but my trembling hands betrayed my emotions. I held back my anger and said word by word, "Silas, I have filed for a divorce. These things of yours have nothing to do with me. I'm not your babysitter. You can't find anything. You have a stomachache, that's your problem. Go find Sage if you have any problems. Don't come and disgust me. My lawyer contacted you 3 times. But you rejected me every time. I'm reminding you one last time, otherwise I don't mind going to court. I don't know what you want to do. Are you used to having a free babysitter? Or do you want to have the best of both worlds? Silas, don't make me refresh my perception of you again. Let's part ways in peace." Hang up the last call. I opened the card slot of my phone, took out the SIM card, broke it into pieces and threw it into the trash can. The remaining emotions were completely consumed by Silas's phone calls. It's not that he can't bear to leave me. All this is nothing but a man's selfish harassment. He was used to being taken care of. I applied for a new card and bought a plane ticket. I flew to the island I always wanted to visit. This is what Silas and I agreed on our 5th anniversary. When he first mentioned it, his eyes were full of tenderness. Start looking for strategies immediately, however. The company was just in its early stages at that time and I didn't want to hinder his career. Then it's a deal. Our honeymoon will be on this island. You're not allowed to lie to me, otherwise I'll go by myself and never talk to you again. Silas smiled and put his arm around my shoulders. "Don't worry, Maeve, I will do what I say. I thought we would go. After getting through the most difficult years, the future will be smooth sailing. I didn't expect that I would be the only one going there now. What you say when you are in love only counts when you are in love. It doesn't matter." The day we set off to the island, the sky is clear and the air is fresh. The flight was smooth all the way and I had a good sleep after a long time. It was the first time in a month that I got rid of that terrible nightmare. The waves are jumping and sparkling. I didn't stay in a 5-star hotel. Instead, I chose a seaside BB, take a walk alone along the coastline, sitting in the sunset waiting for the night to fall, looking at the bright moonlight that I haven't seen for a long time. The golden sunrise is warm, and the clouds where the sea and sky meet make me turn pink. There are no tall buildings here, no sensual pleasures, fame, wealth or power. There are not many fishermen on the island. They look like they are not good at speaking, but they are all simple and friendly, and they often have a kind smile on their faces. A busy fisherman and a wife waiting for her husband to return by the fireworks. There is no denying that my living standard has been getting higher and higher over the years, allowing me to see many things from the upper class, but along with the money comes a cold home. My own piece of green in the dialogue box. It has changed after all, but now, the fisherman's shouts and the roar of motors, the burnt fish and rolling waves made me see a more vivid and vast world. I knew that with Silas's methods, he would be able to find out where I was, but it doesn't matter anymore. During this time, I became good friends with the BB owner and his family. At their invitation, it was my first time trying to go fishing on a fishing boat. I get very seasick. I felt dizzy and my stomach was churning. He almost vomited out all his internal organs, but after the boat starts, it cannot turn around. Finally we arrived at the sea area where the traps were placed, until I lifted the heavy trap from the cold water with my own hands. I heard the BB owner and his daughter celebrating today's harvest, silvery little fish and colorful shrimps and crabs. In this warm and chaotic joy, I finally couldn't hold back my tears and quickly wiped the tears from my face. But I couldn't help but keep tears from falling. I quickly turned my head away so that the father and daughter wouldn't see me. Long suppressed emotions are released. I deeply felt that from this moment on, my rusty heart started beating again. Even if you are let down and your dreams are shattered one day. But there are always other joys worth celebrating, right? After I came back, I became myself again. For example, long abandoned teaching materials and abandoned sculptures, for example. Raising a kitten or a puppy. With Silas, I was also a bright and cheerful girl. I am curious about everything and everything seems alive. But later on, I suffered in the wrong love. I trapped myself beside him. There is no freedom or personality left. What ideals and hobbies are there to talk about? Now, a cat, a dog, and my freedom. I really regret not leaving Silas earlier. Puppies and kittens don't look like people. As long as he recognizes you, he will not ignore you. They will never betray you. If you give them love, they will return it to you tenfold. And goodbye Silas, it's downstairs in my house. I was about to go to the library to study my teaching materials. Silas standing at the door, in his hand, he was holding a piece of paper, agree to divorce. I sat across from Silas. With a hint of relief in my tone, Silas was looking around my home, and finally his eyes fixed on the cat who was leisurely basking in the sun on the windowsill. Hearing what I said, he came to his senses. Maeve, I'm relieved to see that you're doing well. I frowned and said, don't answer the question irrelevantly. No, Maeve, I don't want a divorce. Silas, I looked at him straight in the face. Do you remember what I said last time? Don't let me look down on you even more. I won't look back, don't you understand? Silas lowered his head slightly. I can't leave you, Maeve, I laughed. What about your sage? Are you willing to give it up, or is it Silas who prefers the excitement of cheating, so he insists on turning me into a part of your play? Silas stood up and explained hurriedly, Maeve, she is not you. I have asked her to leave. Okay, stop talking. I interrupted him. I picked up my phone and called the security guard. Ask Silas to get out. Tell the security guard, please look carefully at this person's face next time and don't let him in again. Silas didn't want to go out. He opened his mouth, but in the end, nothing came out. I didn't look at him, closed the door firmly. I won't look back, and I won't be soft-hearted, but I still feel sad when I see him again. I couldn't help but think back to the years when we treated each other sincerely. First year, we lived in the basement together and ate at roadside stalls. He would pick me up and spin me around happily because he made an extra $50 that day. The young man was full of energy and vowed to create a better life. Fifth year, the company grew from a storefront to a single floor of a building, to occupying an entire building. He promised to give me a grand wedding and marry me with great fanfare. Year 7, he got a new secretary who started to frequently attend social events and stayed out all night. Are you coming home for dinner today? I made your favorite perilla porridge. Are you still in the meeting? Why is there no news? Silas, what are you doing? Who is that woman? Why did she get out of your car? No response. Ever since the guard wouldn't let Silas in, he bought a house in the same community as mine but in a different building, he started showing up at my doorstep more brazenly. Seeing me come out, he hurriedly handed me a bowl of hot porridge. This is the perilla porridge I learned to make myself. Try it and see how it tastes. Sometimes he would wait at the door and help me walk the dog. I walked past him indifferently, ignoring him. The aunt next door observed for a long time and found that there was a man who often appeared at my door stealthily, so he enthusiastically helped me call the police. When the police arrived, Silas said it was my husband, but the aunt next door looked suspicious. My husband is doing something sneaky and must have bad intentions, I told them truthfully. This is my cheating ex-husband. The policeman looked at Silas with complicated eyes and said, if you had known this would happen, you wouldn't have done it in the first place. I gave Silas a verbal lecture and then let it go. He waited for me at the door, which did not constitute detention. It was the aunt next door who felt sorry for me. He added my contact information, and every time Silas blocked the door, he would inform me in advance and tell me not to go out. I am very grateful. Tell Auntie it's okay, it's all over. If he wants to wait, let him wait. I don't care. The company is growing bigger and bigger. Silas doesn't have time to bother me. Many times, I could hear him handling official business outside the door. The phone calls continued one after another. During this period, there were many calls from Sage. Silas answered the phone and said, I told you, don't bother me anymore. He was resolute when it came to other people's feelings, unfortunately. We cannot judge others by ourselves, as annoying to me as Sage was to him. Later, he started smoking. The smell of smoke in the corridor is getting stronger day by day. This caused the aunt next door to complain. The dog has asthma and cannot smell the smoke. Order to have less contact with Silas. I decided to endure it a little longer. I couldn't stand it anymore, so I opened the door and threw a basin of water outside. Silas, why are you pretending to be affectionate now? You were the first one to change your heart, and you were also the one who cheated on me. Sage did on the island. Sage from the hospital said that she is pregnant with your child. I know all that. After doing all these things, you still have the nerve to come and ask for my forgiveness. Are you so sure that I still have feelings for you? Silas looked up, his hair still dripping, his eyes gradually dimming, and his face full of regret. Maeve, let me explain, he continued. Sage's pregnancy was fake, she lied to you, but it's true that you cheated, isn't it? Silas is gone. Maybe his actions were exposed and he was speechless facing me. He didn't show up for 5 days. Finally I have a peaceful day. After returning from the island, I started preparing for the teacher qualification exam. I like children. I met Silas. My dream was to be a teacher. No emotional influence. I became more and more immersed in learning, and each day passed quickly, but I gained a lot. Time flies. Time is like an arrow. In the blink of an eye, it was time for the written test. After 3 exams, when the time came to hand in the papers, other people's faces showed either excitement or disappointment, and I just feel calm. Anyway, I tried my best. The results came out very quickly. I passed all 3 subjects in the first exam. I wanted to go out and buy some food and celebrate at home. As soon as I opened the door, I ran into Sage, who was looking for trouble. She looked haggard, and her hair was a little messy from running so fast. How did you find my house? Where's Silas? Where is he? Is he at your house? Silas is missing. You should call him and ask me what I need him for. Maeve, don't think I don't know that you are just backing down and actually don't want a divorce at all. I frowned and smiled disdainfully. Yes, you are right. I looked at this woman who had once stolen my husband away and who had always regarded me as a thorn in her side. And I really didn't have the slightest bit of good feelings towards her. I'll say it again, Silas and I have nothing to do with each other anymore. If there's anyone who can't let go, it's Silas, not me. I'd rather he let it go quickly than have 1 or 2 people come and harass me endlessly. Sage is very good at grasping the key points. Bitch, she said viciously. You said you didn't see Jing Yao, but you let it slip. He clearly came to see you. Speak of the devil and he will appear. Bite. The elevator door opened and whoever came out was Silas. He was holding flowers in his arms and carrying a cake with pictures of my dog and cat. "Maeve, I heard you passed the exam. I came to congratulate you." I pretended not to hear him and didn't even look at him. Silas paused and looked clearly at Sage at the door. He said coldly, "What are you doing here? I have made it very clear. I don't love you, and I have nothing to do with you anymore." "Jingyao, this isn't true, right? You love me. That bitch Maeve must have seduced you again. I don't have the patience to continue to argue with them." I closed the door and pressed the elevator button. Sage still held Silas tightly. Just as I wanted, the elevator has arrived. The moment the door closes, Silas squeezed in. He grabbed my hand, lowered his posture and asked me softly, "Maeve, it's just a small episode just now. Don't mind it. Can we have dinner together tonight?" He looked at me expectantly and tried to put the flowers in my hands. I pulled my hand away and dodged. "I'm very busy and don't have time. Thank you for the cake, but Mr. Pay should enjoy it with Miss You. Maybe I won't give up." The next day, Silas showed up at my door again. "Maeve, I want to try again. I know this is all my fault. Can you give me another chance? Let's start over, shall we?" I looked at him quietly. "Mr. Pay, my attitude is very clear." Silas' eyes turned red and tears soon overflowed. He seldom sheds tears. The only time I saw him cry was when he tried to win me back half a year ago. I was touched at that time. However, the ending was still bad. This shows that crocodile tears cannot be trusted. Looking closely at Silas, it was a rare development for him to be so slovenly. Frizzy hair, a grey suit with a red tie. It's not as smooth as before. In the past, I personally ironed and matched every piece of his clothing, but now, I just feel tired, wondering when he could leave. Silas looked at me in embarrassment. Maeve, I love you." "Oh, he said he loved me. He also said he loved me before, when he first meets Sage. Drunk, he says, 'Maeve, I love you.' But look at Sage, funny and charming. But now later, we got married." After hearing this, Sage ran to the bar to get drunk. It was also him who said, "Maeve, I love you." But it's too dangerous for Sage to be alone in the bar. He needs me, these years. Every time, every place. He said that when he loved me, there was always someone else's shadow. It seems that loving me is his moral shackles. As long as he said he loved me, his falling in love with Sage wasn't out of the ordinary. Ridiculous. I used to think so too. Love makes me confine myself to a prison, and Silas is just a wandering spirit. So for the first time, I swallowed this thorn, because I couldn't bear to see the feelings I had poured into it for 8 years turn into nothingness. Looking at the tears in Silas' eyes, I was sure that he still loved me. Every failure is a learning experience. So now, I don't sympathize with him. Silas probably loves me, but compared to his face and greed, he just got used to my meticulous care and long-term companionship. Throughout our relationship, he has always been demanding. It's not that he doesn't love me, he just loves himself more. After you became successful in your career, you felt you were mistreating yourself when you were with me. He also wanted to taste how delicate the wild flowers outside were. Of course, my suffering is also my own fault. You met the wrong person and allowed yourself to fall into depravity. You deserve to be wronged in love. But now, I have suffered the injustice and the pain. I just want to get rid of Silas, start a new life. Silas, separate and give each other some respect. Silas has always been a proud man. He understands what I say and sees my attitude. After that, I never saw Silas again. But I received the news that he agreed to divorce. Except for the villa we lived in, all the rest of the property belongs to me. I heard the news of our divorce. His friends were all speaking up for him. Silas was also praised online as a good man, as he gave almost all his property to his ex-wife after the divorce. I just smiled when I heard it. Who can refuse the wealth that comes to his door? Besides, he did all this voluntarily. Life goes on as planned. After passing the written test, there will be a teaching qualification interview. The day I got my teacher's certificate, I packed my bags and sold my real estate in northern Beijing. I flew to the island with my dog and cat. I am at the entrance of an island fishing village, bought a piece of land and built a school, interviewed in person again. We hired many caring and hardworking teachers with high salaries. In this way, children in the fishing village no longer have to take a boat to go to school on the island, and I stayed 2, Teacher Lin. Teacher Lin, look, my father caught a beautiful fish in the sea. I think it is as beautiful as Teacher Lin, so I wanted to give it to you, Teacher Lin. I got 90 points in math this time. Please praise me, Teacher Lin. I want to study hard and become a good teacher like you when I grow up. Teacher Lin, I have good news for you. Our fishing village is also going to be developed. My mother said that they are going to build a really big building. I have never seen a building before. It is most relaxing to get along with innocent children. The children's heartfelt affirmation also gave me great courage and determination. That relationship. That city, it seems like just a nightmare of mine. Now, the nightmare is over, and all that remains in reality is the infinite rising sun and the star-filled road. Every mountain has a peak and every lake has a shore. In the long journey of life, everything has its turning point. Extra, Silas. When I was 19, I met Maeve and it was love at first sight. Quirky, bright and brave, like the wind running in the wilderness. The moment they looked at each other, her face turned red. I was moved. 20 years old, I broke up with my family and came to northern Beijing alone to start my own business. My girl came with me regardless and lived in a 5-square-meter basement. It's damp and crowded, and the clothes never dry. Looking at her sleeping face in my arms, I vowed to give her a good life. She is very capable and has a good vision and eloquence. At first, many customers came to her. 23 years old, the company is on the right track. I bought this lakefront house and she loves it. After the company became stable, I felt sorry for her, so I let her stay at home and be a full-time housewife to stabilize the rear. On our anniversary that year, I asked her where she wanted to travel. She said she wanted to go to the island, but she also thought that the company couldn't do without her. I promised to make an island our honeymoon destination. 25 years old, a new secretary came to my friend's company. Please introduce it to me at the dinner table. I agreed on impulse. His name is Sage. She is very similar to Maeve when she was young, bright and sunny. She's just stupid at work, not as smart as Maeve, but she's also cute in a clumsy way. 29 years old, I was lying alone in the huge villa, empty and lifeless. After every social event, I return home alone. As usual, I tugged at my tie and cried out uncomfortably, "Maeve, I'm so thirsty." No one turned on a warm light for me. No one brought me a cup of hot water. There is no more perilla porridge in the morning. All I got in response was endless darkness and silence. At this moment, the overwhelming regret made me feel unable to breathe. I picked up my phone again and booked a flight to the island skillfully. I asked the driver to take me to the airport and I just sat there waiting for the nearest flight the next day. Maeve doesn't know. In fact, over the past few years, whenever I missed her, I would go to the island to see her secretly. Seeing her laugh heartily at school, no longer my caged bird, but an eagle flying freely, just like when we first met. 31 years old, Maeve is married. I asked someone to check. He graduated from one of the top 3 universities in China, came from a well-off family, and was emotionally stable. She met him while traveling. Later, the boy followed Maeve and came to the fishing village to teach. They often walked along the coastline in the evening. The quiet sunlight shines on them, making them look very well matched. As for me, I have spent most of the time in the past 6 months on the island, quietly watching their happiness, like a dark mouse, spying on other people's lives. I know it's not good, but I can't help it. 36 years old, Maeve gave birth to a daughter who looked like her. Later, when the girl grew up a little, she looked exactly like her. Maeve seemed to have completely forgotten about me. I plucked up the courage to go and say hello to her, but she looked at me like a stranger, passing by without any stopping. After that, I never asked about Maeve again.